EI Paswell. What up, people? Welcome to the Outbreak series podcast. You know, it's the podcast where I've been tracking the coronavirus into the United States and finally into my state of West Virginia. And now I'm going to track it back out across the globe, let you know what's going on. My name is Taylor, and you're about to witness podcast number 15, hashtag no filter, baby. Obviously doing things a little different this time, trying to mix it up. I'm out here in the morning, beautiful morning, listening to the birds. After you've been through a long, cold winter in West Virginia, springtime is just fantastic. You know, I lived in Florida for a while and not a lot of seasonal changes down there. And Florida's great, it's awesome. But, you know, the thing about living in West Virginia, where you do have 4 seasons, yeah, the winter's shitty, it's cold, it's miserable. You're depressed, there's no leaves on the trees. But I tell you what, when springtime does hit, and you hear those birds chirping, and those temperatures rising, you're just like, yeah, baby. It's great. So, anyway, I want to touch on a few topics that I'll be discussing today. Let me get into it real quick. We're going to be talking about Brazil, one of my favorite countries in the world. We're going to be talking about protesters and protesting. We're going to talk about reopening phases, and specifically the reopening phase or phases of West Virginia, and how that affects you if you're a worker. We'll get into more later. Also, we're going to talk about the media. Is it focusing too much on the hotspot, New York, New Jersey, and is it forgetting about your neck of the woods? I mean, New York, New Jersey has hit their peak. They're on the other end of it, but most of the other places in the United States have not hit their peak. And in fact, there's many new hotspots around, and the numbers are going up quickly during the reopening of many areas, which is, I don't know. It's a tough thing to manage. And then I'm going to bring it back down to Brazil again and talk about Sao Paulo, one of the major cities of Brazil. It could be the biggest. Rio de Janeiro could be. It's close, but I think Sao Paulo could be the largest. Comment if I'm wrong, okay? And we're going to talk about the favelas on the outskirts of Sao Paulo, and talk about how the coronavirus is affecting the people that live in the favelas. I do have some news to break here, local, some serious news that's happening here in Greenbrier County. And also want to say, please subscribe to this channel, okay? I really appreciate it. We're definitely going to get to those numbers, don't you worry, okay? So, I'm going to take my coffee inside, and I'll meet you in the kitchen in just a minute, okay? We'll cook some breakfast together. All right, bye. Okay, guys, I'm back. That breakfast was awesome. I'm super full right now. So, before I move on to the next topic, I just want to let you guys know I bought a new printer today to print out the kids' homework packets because my old one broke. Right after I purchased the color ink and the black ink packet, which is real expensive. So I was a little upset. Not too bad though. So kids are gonna be put to work next week doing their homework packets. Cheers to that. All right. Hey guys, I'm back. So let's get to those numbers. Okay. The United States of America currently has 1,212,000 plus confirmed cases of COVID-19, with nearly 70,000 lost to COVID-19. New York, New Jersey, the hot spot. I've grouped them together. Those two states have a combined total of 457,000 confirmed cases, and 32,000 have been lost just in New York and New Jersey. DC, 5,170 cases with 250 people lost in DC. And finally, West Virginia, wild and wonderful West Virginia, 1,224 cases with 50 lost. And that number will be increasing because we haven't hit our peak yet, okay? And then Brazil. Going forward, I will be talking about some countries other than the United States. During this podcast, I want to focus on the country of Brazil. One of my favorite countries in the world here. So right now, Brazil has over 100,000 confirmed cases of the coronavirus, with 7,000 people lost so far. And those numbers are increasing rapidly, just like the disease is progressing rapidly throughout Brazil. And I'm going to talk about two areas in Brazil that are particularly going to be influenced by this pandemic. First of all, there are the favelas, okay? Now, if you don't know what a favela is, it's kind of defined as a shanty town full of makeshift homes, shacks. It's an unregulated settlement, and they are on the outskirts of the major cities in Brazil, such as Sao Paulo, Rio de Janeiro. And for instance, Sao Paulo, with their population of 12.8 million, they have a favela. They have multiple favelas on the outskirts of the city that account for 1.5 million people. Now, these favelas, people are living in very confined spots, very confined spaces. Running water is a problem. Soap is a problem. Gas to cook your food, a problem. It's hard to find these things, especially now. Usually in a favela, you have a home that's cohabitated, that's shared by multiple families. Sometimes you have bedrooms shared by multiple people. So everyone is very, very cramped. So you can imagine if one has the coronavirus and is asymptomatic, that person could potentially infect many. So we're hoping that that doesn't happen and these favelas get the help they need, okay? But I just wanted to shed some light on this topic so you guys knew about it, all right? Another population at risk in Brazil are the indigenous people that live in the Amazon basin, that live in the very rural parts, out in the woods, the forest. Medical services are very hard to come by out there, and many of these indigenous people use traditional methods to treat diseases. This is a new disease. Um, it spreads very rapidly and very easily. So I'm worried about Brazil here. So let's keep an eye on this and pray for these guys down there. Okay. Hopefully they come out of this okay. All right. All right. On to the next topic. Talk about this protesting that's been going on here in the United States over the last few days. You know, groups are protesting the stay-at-home orders in multiple cities. In the headlines, we had Michigan. There, they had a large armed group storm the state capitol, protesting the stay-at-home order that the governor actually just extended. Pretty scary situation down there. Also in Los Angeles, tensions were flaring at the Civic Center. You know, you had some protesters, mainly two groups of protesters. One group was holding signs saying like humanity first. The other group was saying America first. So you had some disagreement there. You had some skirmishes, and LAPD had to step in and separate these two groups in Los Angeles. And then even in Raleigh, where my awesome cousin Carrie lives. Shout out to Carrie if you're watching. Love you. An armed group of protesters gathered downtown to protest the stay-at-home order there in Raleigh. So, a lot of disagreement, a lot of division in this country, and it's been that way, especially since Trump took office. So, one other thing I want to talk about very quickly. I won't go into it. The media, they've been really focusing on those hot spots, New York, New Jersey, and almost have spent all of their time just on that area of the country. But, I mean, it seems like they're forgetting about some of these small towns that are just now getting close to hitting their peak. I just want to know what you think about that. Do you think that the media's forgetting about you and your small town, wherever you live? And if you have anything on that, please comment down below. All right, quickly, because this podcast is running long. I want you guys to, stay interested. Keep watching this, okay? So, trying to make it quick. You keep watching. All right, so because I have some interesting news here towards the end, okay? All right, so we're going to talk about the reopening phases of the economy of West Virginia. Governor Jim Justice has put forth a plan called West Virginia Strong, the Comeback. That's a cool name for a plan. And it goes something like this. Week 1, which we are in right now, hospitals can perform elective surgery again. So if you need that facelift, or that liposuction, or whatever, I guess you can get it now. So that's awesome for you. They're also testing all daycare staff in preparation for all these parents heading back to work. So what do you think about that? You know, gosh, sending your kid off to daycare, man, I would worry so much about that. That's a tough decision for you guys. Let me know what you think and if any of you guys are facing that decision. Then you have week 2. Any small business with less than 10 employees will be able to resume operations. Hair salons, nail salons, pet grooming. All right, so if your pet needs a haircut, you can do this next week. Churches, funeral homes, all of those businesses are eligible to reopen during week 2 of the West Virginia Strong, the Comeback Recovery Plan. Then weeks 3 through 6, office buildings, government buildings, retail stores, gyms, restaurants, hotels, casinos, and spas are eligible to get back to work. So we'll see. The problem is a lot of these places, most all these places that are opening their economies back up, you know, they are still their coronavirus cases are still increasing on a daily basis. So you have a lot of disagreement on that issue. Comment down below. Let me know what you think. All right. What else do I have? What else do I have? Okay. Yeah. By the way, Mother's Day is coming up soon. Don't forget your mother on Mother's Day. Okay. So let's talk about this news. This big news out of Greenbrier County. So what it is, here at a local nursing home facility, rehabilitation center, whatever you want to call it, called the Briar down in Roncevert, we've had 2 confirmed cases of the coronavirus there. So 2 residents tested positive for the coronavirus. That's hitting home, man. That's close. I know many that work at the Briar, and we're hoping that they get a handle on this and we don't hear about any more positive cases. But obviously it was brought in by an employee more than likely. So we'll see what happens there. It's a developing story, and I will keep you all posted, okay? All right, last, I want to give a shout out to my daughter, Abby. She's awesome. She's been great throughout this whole process. Love her to death. You know, she keeps me grounded. She's my rock. She dyed her hair, and if she'll let me post a picture at the end, I will. Blonde, and then with some blue. It looks awesome. And I actually dyed my goatee a little bit too. So let me know what you think of that in the comments. Okay? Alright. So, that's all I got. Hopefully I didn't miss anything. Alright, man. I hope all is well with you guys. I love you guys. You're awesome. Thanks for tuning in. And I'll see you soon, alright? Okay then. Peace out.